Hey guys, today we're gonna be programming some more D language, doing some more D language programming, guys. What the fuck happened to my connection? Minimize this shit. We have a connection. Let's see. Let's see it. Okay. So last time we made this code, we were learning arrays, I believe. And I believe we left off on like the first example they showed us, something like this. No, it was like down here, wasn't it? It was like this shit. However, this is like an array that counts up, and so today we're gonna reassess my code and see what it does actually, just so I can remember before we get into anything. So we have int a, int b, int z, and then we have an array here which is a dynamic array, so you can put in multiple different variables. Now here's something with arrays, is that if you want a array to have a if you want to, like if I were to say example assign it right here, there's only two ways I can do this, right? So if I do C1, I can't just do C1 equals 1. This is wrong. If you do this right here, this is wrong. That's not going to work, because the second you do that, I think it does compile, but I don't think... No, it doesn't compile. I don't remember. But it just doesn't work. So don't do that. If you're going to assign them in the start, you need to assign them here. So you need to go like C, and then you would do your array right here, and you'd go with your brackets, you'd go 1, 2, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, etc. But it's a dynamic array anyway, so you need to assign it using this. Anyway, well, that just assigns it. Now, if you add a length to it using the length property, maybe it'd change it. Who knows? But for this program, I don't remember if we got it working. Let's go ahead and give it a check. So we'll just go ahead and open up console in this. Console, wow. This is truly amazing. Such Kubuntu. Let me go ahead and /array, assign a value, 1, enter, 0, enter, 2, enter, 0, enter. I'm pretty sure this one's just supposed to read off. One, two, three, counts 1, 2, 3, and finished. So if I were to put in, so yeah, it just counts it off. Now, I don't know if I like this program, because I don't think this is the best way of doing it, but we haven't gotten far enough for me to make anything more advanced than that shit. So something else I've done in this folder here is called FizzBuzz, which is a kind of like a challenge almost. This is between episodes I kind of did this shit. I asked AI for a challenge, and it told me to do FizzBuzz, which this is what I came up with. Now, obviously, this is not a great way of doing it, but it did work. It does work. So let's just go ahead and hold on. Oh yes. Should be just like this. What is it? New folder. It's caps. I hate caps, bro. Oh, right. It needs to be in this directory. Or I could just backspace and... God damn it, I hate this shit. Bro, gotta learn this shit, man. /desktop/ What am I in? Oh, D language tools, right? The naming is amazing. Then, of course, backspace, enter. How the fuck is that not a directory, bro? I swear to God. Killing me here. Anyway, open terminal. Look, it is a directory, isn't it? Maybe I'm just fucking typing it wrong. I swear. Shit's absolute cancer sometimes, but this is just Kubuntu. Fizz buzz. And this will print out every 1, 2, 3 a fizz, 5 is a buzz, 6 will be a fizz, 9 will be a fizz, 10 will be a buzz, 12 is a fizz, 15 has to be a fizz and a buzz. Now here's the thing, right? You have to catch that before you catch anything else. So like, because it goes in order of how you do it, the way this one works, you have to catch that first. So the way I have set mine up is catching the 15 beforehand, because if it's a 5 and a 3 at the same time, both A2 and A1 have to be changed. Now I use my array for like multiple different variables here in this case. So like I have A2 for like the 5s, A1 for the 3s, and A3 for the 15s. Technically this only needs to, well, it doesn't need to be 4. It says int 4, and then of course it starts with the first value being 0, 1, 2, 3. Just because you int 4 doesn't mean you have, like, you can't have a 4 for your A. So you can't go like A1, A2, A3, and 4. You have to start at 0. So I have A0, 1, 2, 3. It starts at, see, it's weird. So you might say int 4 for your array, but then of course you have to start at 0 regardless. So it always starts at 0 for that. But that makes sense. Okay. And then we have a basic while loop. So while it's under 100, it will do all of this. It will do all of that while it's under 100. Let me just decide on how much zoom I need. Bro, it won't let me zoom back in. I swear. Alright. And then, let's see. What else do I need to keep track of? I think that's pretty much it. Also, the order of write line matters. So when we're just writing the numbers, that's the last thing that happens. So it checks all of this before it can even write a single number. Well, if it's not a number, it has to write the words. So I have it set up so that it will only write the words if the parameters are checked and they're correct for each of these if statements. And if those are met, it will write up the words, fizz or buzz, and then fizz buzz. And then of course, for the last one, write line, which has to be the actual array, that's the counter. So that means, like in this first one, it checked while, if, else if, and then it got to the final one and decided, oh, this one is the only thing that applies, so let's go ahead and write that. And it did that twice. Then it gets to this one. And that one will take the least amount of time to go through. It'll be like, oh, well, we'll do this one. And then we'll count the next number. So it goes all the way back to the start. If. And that's because it's a bunch of else if statements, because if you were to use just if statements, it could do all of these. It could be like, oh, well, if this, and then it goes to the next one, if this, and then it goes to the next one, if this. And then if it went to this one last, they would, I think it would still work maybe, but I don't know. That's weird. It's interesting. Now, one of the other ways I tried it was writing the lines first and like a whole bunch of other shit. No need for all that. Don't even bother with that. Also, I put my initial values up here for the array, so that way it knows. So A0 obviously is gonna have that, A2, A1, 3, A2 is 5, and A3 is going to be 15 to start off, because every 15th number is going to be that fizz buzz. It's just math. Now, I think there's a better way of doing this, which is to use arithmetic. So, very nice. That was my project I did yesterday, or challenge I tried yesterday. So now that we've learned a little bit about arrays, let's continue where we left off. With that being said, I think I could probably make this a lot smaller. Just for this program alone, I could probably shrink it down a significant amount. Maybe even a lot, honestly. But let's go to FizzBuzz and close that shit out. Let's close that out. And then, so let's see here. We have our void main. We have a while a equals 0, and then it's gonna write that. It's a user input for whether or not it's gonna be 0 or not. Okay, that makes sense. C. We could assign C that, oh, C is assigned the value of Z. Why? Why would you assign C the value of Z? Right line CB. It also doesn't assign it on a number. What is this? Why is there an array for C when I'm just assigning my C to Z? What is this bullshit? Bro, straight up don't, oh wait. No, that makes sense. It's dynamic, so it's just adding on a number every time. That makes sense. Can't really have that. I mean, it works. If I just put C and then put the brackets, will it still work? Then open terminal here. DMD array.d. Ah, so that does not work. Interesting. So it will just, yeah, it will add on every time. Control S. Increment the value of B for the counter. So that means every time B goes up, then I believe what's happening is, oh, right. So yeah, we increment up B. So during this initial loop, it just adds up to B. Adds up B a couple times. What I would do is I could technically put these in two different categories. I could have an array for A, B, and Z. So A, B, and Z will get replaced, I think. And then what that will be is the static, like a non-dynamic array, so just a static array or some shit. We'll go ahead and do this. Try to improve it. I also want to revisit the calculator project again today, because I think with arrays we could probably change a lot of shit there. But I also want to learn a little bit more so that way we can try to do that. So obviously we don't want a dynamic array. We want 3, because this will assign 3 different array values to this. So you have 0, 1, and 2, and then boom. Now we have A0. Instead of having Z, we're going to have A1. So that makes shit even easier. Now, obviously, we might want to assign these. No, actually, the user assigns A1. A1. Actually, was that a Z? I think that was a Z. Control S. Then, read F. A. Which this one was A, so A0. Control S. Hopefully I don't get confused here and screw shit up. Then of course we know this one's gonna be A2. So 0, 1, 2, and then boom. And of course anywhere we see a B, A2. Try out another A0, Control S. A2, just to make shit even easier for me. I don't know if this will even work, but we're putting an array inside of an array. And then, of course, we have A2. Wait. Yes, that was a B, correct? Hold on, let me hit Control Z a few times till okay. A2, Control S. Now, let's go ahead and try to compile it. Oh, yep, it does compile, and then we'll just do that slash array, assign a value, 1, 0, 32, 1, 1 and 32. It works all the same with that. Perfect. How can we make this better, though? Like, how can I get this even farther? And I don't think I can really get it even farther than this. I think this is as good as it's going to get for now. Unless I were to, like, put in these and then have write basically just read it off of the array. But that is still a pretty small file, I think. This is, like, only 21 lines, and if we compare that to FizzBuzz, that was a little bit longer than that. Calculator even is the fucking longest shit of all time, bro. Calculator, man, I'm telling you. Fucking calculator program. Do we have an array folder yet? Create new folder. We'll call this one arrays. We'll hit OK. We're gonna put our array in there. Perfect. So with arrays, it's kind of been good to learn these. I've been able to improve quite a bit of my programming with this, because instead of having like 10 variables, we can just have 2 arrays that handle everything in this program. And the only reason we need 2 anyway is a dynamic array in there. Could just do everything with an array. A bracket 0, A bracket 2, A bracket 3. I don't know why you wouldn't do everything with an array when you got 5,000 variables you need. This variable is used as the loop counter, which we could just do what I did. Alright, so let's go down. Initializing the element. Oh, wait. See, this program is better than the previous one. Imagine needing 20 values. The program above would require a single change, replacing 5 with 20. On the other hand, the program that did not use an array before would have 20 variable definitions. Furthermore, since you would be unable to use a loop to iterate the 20 values, you would also have to repeat several lines 20 times, one time for each single valued variable. Like every variable in D, the elements of arrays are automatically initialized. Oh wait, we're initializing elements. Like every variable in D, the elements of variables are automatically initialized. The initial value of the elements depends on the type of elements. 0 for int, double, nan, dot nan for double, etc. Okay. Oh, okay, so like this is like property shit. Elements are all double.nan for double. Oh, okay. Obviously, the values of elements can be changed later during the execution of the program. We've already seen this with assigning assigning to an element of an array. Month, days, 11 equal 31. That also happened when reading a value from the input, which is just inputting it in. You can also, like, yeah, obviously that's shit. You just set it equal to something else. Sometimes the desired value of the elements are known as time when the array is, or are known at the time when the array is defined. In such cases, initial values of the elements can be specified on the right-hand side of the assignment operator. with square brackets. Yeah, like how I've literally done it before. Unless it's something, yeah, just exactly that shit. As you can see, month days array is defined and initialized with a range of 1 to 12. Int 12, and then month days 31, 28, and then each of those is... So you have 12 values, which starts at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then that's all of your months. It's 12 months, but it starts at 0, so then you go 0 to 11, so it's kind of a little confusing, but still. When initializing arrays, it is possible to use a single value on the right-hand side. In that case, all elements of the array are initialized to that value. That's good to know. Basic array operations. Arrays provide convenience operations that apply to all of their elements. What does that mean? I'm sure it will explain that in a bit. Copying fixed length arrays. Source, destination, destination equals source. Ah, that could be pretty useful for something. Like, what if you have... So you have, for example... You take a user input, but then you want to save that input and compare it to the previous input. Then you could use int2 or some shit. You'd be like int5 or int bracket 5 and then have 2 and int bracket 5 and have, oh, well, then it'd be the same thing. Or your initial and then your secondary, or just a save data of it. And then you compare it between the two pieces. So you could do multiple calculations at once. I think that'd be a cool thing to try out. Or compare different data. Honestly, an array is pretty useful. Like, so if you have like your X points and your Y points, like for like a graphing calculator, honestly, that's kind of like an array too. Interesting. We'll try that out, maybe comparing two different inputs to each other using these arrays. This would also be important for like multiple processing. Like if we want to process the whole array, we'll see if it has more to it. Adding elements to dynamic arrays, we've already learned this. It's tilde equals 7, and then it adds a 7, adds 7, 360, and then boom, adds extra numbers. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know you could do multiple assignments. Of course, keep it in the brackets, as always. It is not possible to add elements to fixed array length or fixed length arrays. Int 10. Oh, yeah. I've also done that, and that does not work. Don't try that. I've already made that mistake. Made that mistake while I was making FizzBuzz yesterday, bro. Straight up. Array elements can be removed with the remove. Oh, that's also useful. The standard algorithm, from standard algorithm module, because there may be more than, so we'd have to do import standard algorithm. Oh. Okay, that's something good to know for the future. We might need standard algorithm a lot. It has to move some elements of the array one or more positions to the left. For that reason, the result of the remove operation must be assigned back to the same array value. Hold on. Remove cannot actually change the number of elements in the array. Rather, it has to move some of the elements of the array or more positions to the left. One or more positions to the left. So there are two different ways of using remove. Provide an index for the element to remove. So array equals array.remove, and then you would remove the first one, and then right line array. And then that removes 1. So 1 is 20, because it starts at 0. Okay. Then also we have another one. Specifying the elements to remove with a lambda function, which we'll cover in a later chapter. So I have no fucking clue what a lambda function is, but okay, at least we're getting exposed to it early on. Oh, and then that means, well, array equals array.remove, and then a whatever the if a is greater than a equal 42. Which, who knows what the fuck this means, but I clearly don't. So that will mean if it equals 42, then it removed 42, both instances of 42. Which is actually useful to know. So, I think we could redo the whole FizzBuzz program and try making FizzBuzz 2 using this. We're going to try that out. Create new text file, call it FizzBuzz 2. Okay. Rename. I forgot to put a .d at the end of it, but that's fine. FizzBuzz2.d. Alright, get rid of that. Close nevertheless. Perfect. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to just take this, for example. So, what you do is we could do it in steps, right? So the whole FizzBuzz program works by doing multiple different steps. So we're going to import our standard input-output. We're going to import algorithm this time, which I haven't used that yet. So this is my first time using standard algorithm. And then, of course, void main. Not brackets. Do this. Scope. So then we have our array. Now they put it in here. I don't do that. We're not going to follow what they're doing. Instead, we're just going to... This is the only part we need is this. Which they have it set up like this, so... We'll try out what they're doing. We're going to have an array that has 100 values. So we're going to need int, then brackets, we want 99. That will give you 0 to 100. That'll give you 0 to 98. No, give it 100. This will give you, no, 101. That should give us that. Now, every time it goes up, it's going to have to assign a value to that. We could just not do that, but this is going to be important. So that will be like, we'll call this one save. Backspace. Save. Actually, we'll just call it S. So we'll have int S as an array. And then, alright, so then we're going to have our next array, which is going to be pretty much my general processing array. Just going to put a 5 here for now. We probably won't need 5 variables for this, but that's what I'm using the array to do, is just for general purpose kind of shit. We'll give it A, since I can remember that's going to be general purpose. The other one is going to be save. I mean, it's kind of obvious they have numbers next to them, so you'd be like, oh, well, this one's clearly what it is, so we can do, no, don't add void main to void main, guys. Layer your void mains. Alright, so let's see. What we're gonna do is assign all of int. Then we'll run our array, and then it will be done. So the idea would be to have a while loop which adds up to 100. So what we do, while, and we want to have a reason for it to continue. Why would I put a fucking, it's not a text. Don't even put a string in there, man. What am I doing? My brain is shutting off. It's 2 a.m. guys. I got up at 12. Who knows? My brain is shutting off rapidly. While. So we have our while loop kind of in the works. My brain is currently calculating what we could do. So we have int 101 and then it equals s, which means s is our array. We'll use int. No, we'll use a bracket 0 to represent this counter kind of thing. Well, a0 is less than 100. Then we'll use a less than or equal to 100. So we'll have a0 plus equals 1. Actually, no, you can just do a0 and then put a plus plus in front of it. Plus plus and then semicolon and then continue down. Then the next part, so that will add to it. So it will basically be like, hey, a bracket 0, which is the first int. Technically, it's a variable. It's an array. Well, it's a variable in the array. So it will add to that a0, and then, of course, continuing on. Let's see. So it adds to itself, and then once it hits 100, it will stop. That's what this will do right now. So then what we need to do is figure out how to be like, oh, okay, well then add to this one, add to this one. So then we'll have our s bracket, and then we'll have a, and then we'll write a to s. That makes sense? So a0, and then we'll equal our a0. So this means it will count up and add it to that. Now, we don't write any lines until afterwards. So it will equal a0, and then we'll put a semicolon to end that whole statement. This looks cursed. This is like array sin. Array sinning. I'm a sinner, guys. I'm using too many fucking arrays, bro. Bro, I don't think any programmer would do this shit to themselves. Look at this. This is a fucking statement that says the array s value a0 will equal a0. The array a0. Until 100. So there's our first part. Then what we're going to do is add our array remove in the second part. Now what we could do, so once this is done, we need to write out every line of the array. I don't think I need 5 variables. I think I could probably have just done it with an array that's much smaller than that. Wow, I probably could have just used no array at all, bro. What am I doing? Well, we might actually need a second array, though. And we might need to assign, let's go ahead and just say it's 2, honestly. It might just be 2, that's all we need. And then we put a bracket, and we'll put a 0, comma, and then we'll have the next one be just 100. And then we can just subtract our way down for the second counter. Technically, at that point, we might as well just... But here's the thing, is that it might go back into that loop, so we don't really want that. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll just go with this as is. This will work. And then, yes, of course. While... So once that's done, this will go into the next loop. I don't want to have 2 loops though. I want to have 1 loop. Let's make a rule that I'm going to have 1 loop here for this whole thing. And I reckon we can do that. So we need an array that changes, not removes though. Or so that would remove our array, but That's the thing. So once we've put our array in, this like basically writes the whole array for us, right? And it gives it numbers from 1 to 100. The thing is that like if I were to remove specific numbers, like this array.remove is not going to really help us. But if there was more options, combining arrays, so you can also do combining arrays. But like really this won't help us because you can't just be like, oh, remove the 3 and then replace it with this. No, we need a replace system. Like we can't do that. We need to replace the ones that are going to be removed. And this doesn't even account for which ones need to be removed. This only accounts for us setting up that array with 100 numbers. It would make it worse to do it this way, honestly. Anyway, continuing down. Result equals first. Cannot be used when the left-hand side array is a fixed length array. We already know that, right? Oh, okay. So yeah, if you have... Oh, right, yeah, of course. Because this one's... If it's fixed length, then you can't add to it. That's a rule. If it's a dynamic array, though, you could combine them, technically. If the array sizes are not equal, the program will be terminated with during assignment. Wait, but these are fixed length arrays. So if you're using a dynamic one, does it mean you can't do that? So if first is not dynamic in the first, okay, that might make a little bit more sense to me. Sorting algorithm elements. Standard algorithm.sort can sort the elements of many types of collections. In the case of integers, the values get sorted from the smallest value to the greatest value. In order to use sort function, we must sort array. Oh, you must import standard algorithm module first. We'll see functions in a later chapter. Ooh. Sort array. Oh, so if you had like a bunch of shitty values, like somebody put in 42, 36, 85, and 91. It'd put them all in order from 36, 42, 81, 95. It'd make it really easy. Reversing the elements. Standard algorithm that reverses the elements. So if you had 4, 3, 1, 5, and 2, you could get 2, 5, 1, 3, and 4. So it'd be reversed. Write a program that asks the user how many values will be entered and then reads all of them. So we've already done that one. Then reverse the sorted elements using reverse. Reverse, and then you put your array name. I don't think we need to do that. That's not that hard. That's literally just fucking write a line that says reverse. Write a program that reads numbers from input and prints the odd and even ones separately, but in order. Now that's a challenge. Write a program that reads numbers from input, and then... Alright, let's go ahead and just redo all of this shit. Actually, I'm just gonna save this and we'll just make a new file because I don't want to have a write in fizzbuzz.d. We'll create a new text file. We'll call it array. Then go over here and just array.d. We'll create a new array2.d. Perfect. We don't need to worry about that. Now, of course, it's time for me to do my imports first. First and foremost is get all that shit in there. Don't do any capitals. import. Why did I put important? What am I doing? Then we need to import our algorithms. What am I doing? Bro, my brain is clearly shutting down right now. It's on its last legs, man. Algorithm, semicolon. Let's scroll up. What was it again? Did I write that correctly? I might be completely tripping right now, bro. That looks perfect. Perfectly as it should be. So we're gonna do that challenge. For example, when the following numbers are entered, how does the program print the following? Oh, and you also have to account for negative numbers too. Alright, and then we're gonna create a dynamic array, I think, for our inputs. Of course, int will always account for negative numbers up to the integer limit for int. Now, if you had unsigned integer, you couldn't do negatives. Obviously, it'd be unsigned, so, well, yeah, it has to all be positive for unsigned, I think. No, it definitely has to be all positive for unsigned. Or all negative. But I'm pretty sure it's all positive for this language. So, what is it? Int, and then a, and semicolon. Because that would just assign it no values to it. That creates a dynamic array, which then every single value following that will have to be added to it. And then int. Pretty sure I might be messing some shit up here, but let me scroll up just to check that real quick. Oh yeah, you don't need to assign it. It's fine. I'm just getting it confused. I'm thinking int brackets should be equals A or equals B. This number is going to be 5. I like 5. It's a good solid number in case I need 5 variable or 0 through 4 to be variables that I can use later. And I can do my void main brackets and then do a scope right at, do a scope right here. Perfect. And then tab. Now it's time to write the code. All right, so when you do your we'll have we don't need to have extra write lines, but we'll have a readf. Do this and space s, and then go like that. Put and. So it will read the user input and put it into A. We are going to test that first. And this needs to go in a while loop now that I think about it. So that will just be added to A. While. And then of course, our parameters. We'll take 10 numbers and then we'll put it in. While A, or actually it's B. We need B. B0, of course. B0 is less than or equal to 10, which will give you 0 through 10. So that will give you 11 numbers, but who cares? And then actually, if we want exactly 10 numbers, let's just go with 9. Actually, if it's less than 10, once it hits 10, it will just have to read them out by counting down. So while B0 is less than 10, and every time it does this, it will need to do a plus and add to the 0. That's the counter part of this, is that you have to have counting in this. Hello. What's up? So we need to add in a counter for this. We'll do plus plus. What am I doing? I'm doing some programming today. Just learning. Because I just started learning on Saturday, and I just got into arrays yesterday. It's pretty good stuff to learn, honestly. I mean, not this language. Nobody uses D, except for me. I'm gonna use D. Gonna write the greatest game of all time using D. People will think I'm joking, but maybe I'm crazy. Totally lost my mind. Plus B, so that will increment B every single time this runs. So once B hits 10, it will no longer be a true statement, and then it has to go down from 10. So to get B back down to 0 is when we'll have to do some other stuff. Oh, you're learning C++? That's cool. Yeah, C++ is pretty popular with people. It's, I don't know what uses C++ though. I know my friend mostly codes C#. I have a friend who codes mostly C#, and then I have some friends who code C, Python, Java, other languages like that. I don't know shit about programming. It's my first language I'm learning right here. Plus, well, I do know Bash though, kind of. To an extent, know Bash, but that's just that's just doing basic Linux stuff right there. Bash. All right, so we're doing exercise 2, by the way, not the first one. The first one, I did that yesterday, basically. Sorry, just got here. What are we working on, Fish? We're working on some programming today. We're working on a program that's going to make the user write 10 different numbers, and then give those numbers following this. Write a program that reads numbers from the input and prints the odd and even numbers separately, but in order. So I think this is actually a pretty good challenge, honestly, considering yesterday I did FizzBuzz on my own. So it will print 1, 3, 7, and 11. And then it will print 2, 4, and 8. Which I want to print those on separate lines, honestly. But I think you could just print out the whole array. Let's see if this even works, though, as is. Control S. So then we'll just go ahead and do open console. DMD array 2.d should, okay. What the fuck did I do? Bro, what am I doing? My mind must be like absolutely shutting down. Oh god. Now it's freaking out about my dynamic array being here like this. Let's see how they do it. Are they able to assign their dynamic arrays like this? Scroll up, see if they assign. If they ever assign a dynamic array like this, I'd be surprised. Which distro? I use Kubuntu, and I also use Linux Mint. Alright. But I use them on 2 different machines. Are you gonna FOL? What's that mean? Full? My mind is lost. Array. I don't know how they assign their arrays for this shit. I want to see month number, which that's month number for a variable. So I'm guessing, yes, they initialize month number there. And then, yeah, I think that's how they do that. They don't just go and put a dynamic array like what I have and try to assign dynamic arrays and then unorderedness. What is this shit? floating point. Hold on. What happened? I clicked ahead. Oh god. Here, we're back to arrays. We're gonna move on to the next thing in a bit. What am I doing? Am I getting confused? Ah, there we are. Alright. Back to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and which distro you run? Running Kubuntu and Linux Mint. Distro? Ubuntu probably. Debian. I don't know what my Mint is, but I know this one's Ubuntu. And people told me not to do that, but I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest. Everything's fucked up and everything's broken, but I'm just hoping it will fix itself. We're on a sinking ship here with this one. Everything's broken, and I just think it will fix itself on its own magically. Anytime I run into a problem, I'll try my best. But if it doesn't fix, if I can't do it, I'll just wait till the developers fix it for me later. Who knows? Psychopathy, right? So we're gonna read F, and then we'll put it into B1. What am I doing? Yes, that will work. And then we have to assign B1 to A. So we'll just do a simple. What is D programming? It's the D language. Fast, fast, fast. Okay, I don't even need to read the rest of the spiel. It's just fast, fast, and fast. Fast and furious. You know, Linux almost had a massive backdoor problem. Bro, do you hate Linux? Are you a Linux hater? This guy's a Linux hater. Fast, fast, and fast. Fast and furious, guys. That's what D language is. It's C but fast and furious. It's the future. Truly. Well, I mean, if it was the future, everybody would be using it. So why am I like one of the few people who even knows what D is? Bro, some guy told me to learn D on stream one time, and then I was like, okay. And then I started on Saturday. Absolute madman that guy was. Set it equal to B, and then of course B1, then semicolon, or actually we need to put a tilde there. Reason being is that tilde will give us an extra one since it's a dynamic. A is dynamic, so you have to use that right there to do that. Alright, then that should be everything it needs. Also, don't mind all of these errors. That's just because of the attempt to... What is this? B plus equals 1? Missing... Oh. My bad. I'm kind of dumb sometimes. Because it's an array, you can't just... Fixing one issue at a time, guys. Burning one bridge as we go. While B0 is less than 10, then it runs the scope. What is this? D array appendix CT is not callable using argument types. I must have screwed some shit really up. I guess it's how is this still an issue? We're having the same issue as before. D could be mainstream if D should be GC optional in language since 2005 maybe. I'm doing C. You use Ubuntu, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's not a modifiable I value. What? Oh, are we trying to... Is it because I'm trying to assign B1 to that? Is that a thing? I'm pretty sure I've done this before elsewhere. Assigning that shit shouldn't be that difficult. Let me just ignore all that. I don't need all of this shit here. Let's see. I'm thinking about this really quickly. So I think it's because of this. I'm trying to assign that. Is that how I do the assignments? Did my brain shut off again? Did I get that backwards? Adding elements to dynamic arrays. That's what I did wrong. I'm pretty sure that's it. Pretty sure that should make it... Yes. Array 2. 1. Oh, shit. Now I've tried to assign it and it doesn't want to do shit. Let's see. Cannot find character S in the input string. Oh, that's it. Parenthesis. Or percent. Are you student or you work? I just do this as a side thing. This is just a side thing for me. I didn't even save it. I just recompiled that shit and then it didn't even... Alright, 1, 2, 3, 57. Perfect. Okay, so it saves those to the array and doesn't have any problems. Next step is to get it to read that all off, which isn't that hard to do. And honestly, we might be able to just read it off, which I'm willing to experiment to try new shit with this, but we might be able to just read the entire thing. And I think that's a thing you can do. Or, what I want is to write 2 different lines, okay? I think that is a better challenge than what they want. So in 2 here, they have write a program that reads numbers from the input and prints the odd and even ones separately, but in order treat -1 specially to determine at the... Oh, okay, -1 or negative... Huh, okay. So don't accept negatives? So if you have -1, it just doesn't even show up. I mean... Screw that. For this, what I could do, what I'm probably gonna do is just create some. I want to split it up and have it on 2 lines, right? So I like how their output is, but I want this on 2 different lines. So if I have 1, 3, 7, and 11, it's gonna be on 1 line, so I can see it easier, and then I have the other one on the 2nd line. That's just for me, and then for the other one, I want to do... For the -1, of course, it looks like they don't even accept -1. They just get rid of it. So, that will use stuff from standard algorithm, probably. Well, definitely we'll use that shit. Because you need to be able to sort it, at least. And then, of course, to do this, we'll have to assign 2 other dynamic variables, potentially. Well, we could make them non-dynamic, or we could just do dynamic and just... say, well, actually, yeah, they would need to be dynamic. The one that doesn't need to be dynamic is this. This could be not dynamic and it'd be fine. But, of course, maybe we don't want that. Who knows? Or maybe we do want it. Who knows? Who knows? My brain is shutting off, so I don't know. But, of course, let's go ahead and reread what they said about... so they have reversing elements, they have sorting elements. Obviously, sorting elements. Let's see. It's going to become important for this. We might need to put them in order, too. Does it say that? Odd and even ones separately, but in order. So I think step 1 is get them into order. I'm King JJ on Discord, by the way, Fish. Just so you know if you can remember what that is. Well, okay. I probably remember that shit. That's easy to remember. Got it. Okay, let's see. Sorting elements. Right, let's see. Definitely need to sort them first. Sort first, do other shit later. That way they're in order, and then it will make it easy. Because it goes by steps, too. Sort, and then you just do array. Oh, okay, that's great. Sort, and then, of course, we'll do a... I guess that's how that would... I'm pretty sure that's actually how that's supposed to look, so that's okay. Put a semicolon after that, and then control down, or do this now, and then we'll do our odds and evens after that. So, for those, we'll have them sorted into odd and even, I guess, maybe. Int. And we'll probably have, we'll make these dynamic, and we'll just, oh shit, don't do that shit. I mean, it might work, but, I mean, D really isn't picky about how you do this shit. D is really, really easy. If you do shit, and it's weird, it will sometimes work anyway. It will just always work anyway, normally. D doesn't really care that much. And then, oh, so even and odd. That's how we'll remember that. E for even and O for odd. Who knows if we'll actually do that? We could probably write them on, do like use like 2 arrays for this and use parts of this for that. And just kind of set those as we go and then reset them. It'd be kind of a weird way of doing it. And would be way more difficult than just doing 2 of these. So let's just go with the easy method, honestly. Because with this, all I have to do is be like, oh, even, assign it to even. If it's odd, assign it to odd. And of course, really all it is we're going to break this down. We're going to then have to figure out how to put it onto 2 different arrays. Potentially. If I can even get that far in my mind. But this will be a challenge for 3 a.m. this morning. The challenge of all time. So that will sort them all. So if I were to put 36, 78, 91, and 23, it'll sort it all into order by number. And then, of course, after that, we need to get evens and odds out. Which is displayed. You can also remove elements. If you want to do it, remove elements. But here's the other thing. It doesn't explicitly say how you can remove or how you can say what's even and odd and how to get it into that order. You may want to put the elements in separate arrays. You can determine whether a number is even or odd by using the percent and then the remainder operator. Which I'm not good at math. But that's interesting, by the way. Just to say this is interesting, my brain is not working. This is a math thing because it's going to be like even or odd. It's like, well, I'll just Google how to figure out if a number is even or odd with math. Oh. Ah, cool. Look at this shit. 44% 2 is equals 0. So we can, so then we'll have to have if statements and assign it to the different arrays. So that's how we'll do it. Alright, then we'll run, we'll sort A, and then that will get it into order, right? So sorting A gets it to order. And then we're going to take A, each consecutive A. Well, we'll probably need a second while loop then. Good God, I want to do it all in one loop, but that's not happening. Just Google the answer, guys. Just search up the answer. This rate, might as well. We need to do the math too as well. So it sorts it. I mean, that will get them in order at least, so they'll be sorted. And then what we can do is add on another one, and we'll have another while loop. We're going to have to do a second while loop, so that will be the first one. While b0 equals that, boom. And then we'll have to assign everything a number too as well. Actually, we'll just count up for this. We don't need to count down. A count up loop is the same thing as a count down loop. Let's get this shit going. Less than 10. Do the same exact shit again, but with B1. Now, instead of reading F, we're gonna put it onto, basically, we'll write it out with this. We'll try writing out the lines just to check if everything is working properly, even though I wouldn't really need to do this. Write line A, and then B, we'll have it be B1, and then we'll do a semicolon, and then have plus plus B1, which is effectively what we need to do, and then continue down. So that will get our loop going. I mean, I would like to keep, so I would like to make this so it's like all of them are always like, oh, that's the last thing that happens, but really it's the second thing usually is that I have the loop increment. I don't know why I do that. That's weird. It's like the third thing that happens there. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still incrementing because it's still going to go through and be like, oh, here's the increment function. Goes up. Oh, also, this is not supposed to be in those types of brackets. I'm not sure how I screwed that up, but awesome. Awesome sauce, guys. Such gaming. Can't believe you're coding in Kate. Bro, get out of here with that shit. Second you say Microsoft Visual Studio, hell no. Give him a timeout at that point. Straight up. Microsoft Visual Studio, guys. I mean, it's here for a reason. It's like using Notepad is probably gonna be what he says. I swear. Man, that's like using Notepad. Bro, Notepad's okay. Actually, Notepad's actually shitty. I can agree with that statement. But this is not bad. It's highlighting shit. It makes it look pretty enough. It makes it look good enough. What am I doing next? Obviously, now we need to do the modulus thing. Which means we'll have to write A to each one. So, how are we going to do that? This is, okay, this is pain. But you'll do modulus 2. Oh, if you divide by 2 and you have a remainder, if the remainder is 0, if there is no remainder, so you just check if there was a remainder. That's clicking in my mind, but I'm still trying to figure out in my head how I'm going to do this. Also, this needs to happen before the increment, because the second you increment by 1, it's going to cause issues. And then, of course, A. We'll just do A, and then we'll have it be B1, and then we'll do, okay, I'm thinking here, getting my brain going at turbo capacity at 3:20 a.m. in the morning, guys. Bro, straight up, I'm losing my mind. Let's do this. Modulus function, modulus expression or some shit. 2, and then give us B3. Actually, yeah, B3 equals that shit. Good God. I feel like the community knows you for the NTM space. You're kind of throwing us off by doing other mods, but I mean, whatever makes you money, obviously. Bro, what are you fucking saying, man? Look, I'm not here to appease any one group of people. I am a guy who is here to make videos. And I'm just making videos on shit I'm interested in. So if that bothers you, just go away. If it bothers you that I like to do shit that's not just one thing, go away, man. I'm just saying. Okay, this looks good. It's like if you do the same thing every day. Like, let's say you wake up every day and go, I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did yesterday. I mean, obviously that's not what's gonna happen, but it's like if you live the same day every single day, sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you should explore other things too. It's good. Oh yeah, also, this is not how that's gonna work. I got distracted. B3, bro. This might be the most arrays I'm gonna use. Coding using only arrays. B3. B1. Wait, hold on, it's B2, isn't it? Yeah, it's B2. Use all of my arrays equally until I run out of arrays. B++. Okay, now that's cool. We need to now check if B. Yes, if B2. B2. Right? Yeah. If B2, check if B2, and then we'll check if it equals a whole number. Like, how do I figure out if it's a whole number? How do I find the remainder then? That's gonna be all in the math section. Logical expressions. Now, of course, using an integer, you can't use an integer anymore for that. Can I? Because it will truncate the remainder. So truncating the remainder is bad. We need to have a float. Obviously, that sucks. Hold on, we'll have to look at this. I'm gonna look at data types. Data types. Fundamental types. Size of, min, init. And then you could do... Okay, maybe not. I think it might be in logical expressions. Let's check. I didn't see anything. I actually don't know how to get a remainder. I might be dumb, but floating point types. The overflow values are dot infinity and dot negative infinity. That makes sense. We need to look at this. Real. Oh, type. Yes, if it's a real number, that's important. What's real? Because I remember real. Real or imaginary? Dig shows the digits and specifies the number of a digit, and that signified the precision and type. Double.max. Size of, min, normal. Real at least 64. Oh, wait, that's... Never mind. We might use dot digits. Basically, it just tells you how many digits there are. We could be like, if b dot digits, and then it equals, well, then, of course, you need to not have that. We need to have, like, right line b dot digits so I can see what that shit looks like. See what my expected result is, and then program from there. Alright, hold on. What does this do? Double dot dig. It gives you precision, so that's okay. But that's not going to help me find the remainder. Okay, and the fact that there's no truncation is very important. The accuracy, real has the highest point, precision, and float has the low. Okay, that's okay. Unless it is a specific reason, you can choose double or floating types. We cannot represent certain values in our daily lives. Blah 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 blah. Fucking bullshit. Unorderedness. Right. Sometimes it just doesn't work with math. Sometimes. There's no real way of getting that array off of that. So I can't assign it to my things. This doesn't make sense. So how do I do... This is a good question. We might have to pick this up next time because I'm running out of time for today. I'll give it 3 more minutes to... I have 3 more minutes to solve the problem. And then we're on to tomorrow. I mean, this is a good one to solve, honestly. This is hard. We'll ask how to find if a number has a remainder. Divide the dividend by the divisor, blah, blah, blah. The result is no whole number, the remainder. Okay, use remainder. Whoa, these are interesting. The remainder is the amount left over after subtracting the largest multiple of the divisor that fits into the dividend. That's like fucking speak math to me, bro. Speak math. Oh god. This looks like C or Java. Looks like C to me. Definitely could be C. Okay. So you have... That's like C++ or some shit. But... Oh, a floating point value is an integer if it equals its truncation. Wait a second. Oh. Oh, so what you would do is you would truncate it. And if it's equal to its truncated form. Hold on. No. Hold on, show more. So this obviously isn't D, but if we can truncate, so we'll just try to convert it into an int. Okay, so yes, we'll convert it into an int. So everything's gonna start out as a float. All right. Oh, good morning. Yeah, you've caught me right at the end of this stream, but I'm going to be moving over to something else in a bit. Right at the end. We're figuring out... Okay, so I'll leave a note for next time. Use truncation. I'm pretty sure that was the correct button. Actually... if it has a remainder. This was a good one to solve. This is like a problem that I could see myself using in the future, because that, like, figuring out if something has a remainder is so important. Like yesterday I was like, well, I could figure out FizzBuzz easier if I just knew how to get a remainder, but this one's a good one to be working on. Anyway, we're gonna have to pick this one up tomorrow because I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my next stream that I'm gonna do for my other shit that I want to do. I want to play some HBM today, so if you all want to go to that, feel free, but I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time, and it's been good.